Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The director, Matt Reeves, of The Batman, has now shared brand new details on Paul Dano's Riddler. I saw this headline, I was like, oh, yes, please, some complexity to our villains. Gosh, yes. He's not just a serial killer. Love it. So fittingly, Paul Dano's take on the Riddler remains one of the most mysterious aspects of Batman, but director Matt Reeves has now shed some more light on his incarnation of the classic villain, which definitely is polarizing. Look, I get it. He does look like he's a bit of a gimp wearing that outfit. I'm aware, I get it. But when you understand that it's based on the Zodiac Killer, you sort of, makes it a bit more, palatable. And also, as well, the performance just sounds incredible from Paul Dano. Everything I've seen sounds incredible. Yes, dumb costume, great performance. So I love villains with some conviction. This guy looks like he's got some conviction. Interesting elements, more layers. I want my villain to be an onion. One-note villains are simply one note. They're the sort of cackling, mustachioed man in the corner that just gets really, really boring. So let's check this out. While we obviously know the basic premise of the Batman, Matt Reeves' upcoming reboot is still shrouded in mystery to some degree, and fittingly enough, Paul Dano's new interpretation of the Riddler is one of the most enigmatic aspects of the story. Agreed. So we know Edward Nashton is a serial killer who seems to be targeting Gotham's elite. Now, I will say this, there does seem to be, a bit of a grey area with respect to how he's doing this, because there's like one scene where apparently he's live streaming, which I think, I don't know whether I agree with that as an addition to this universe. Oh, he just live streams the murder. It's a bit weird. We don't need to bring streaming into this, But whatever, it's fine. I get it. I get it. They're trying to add some relevancy, I guess, and modern stuff. And the trailers have pretty much confirmed that he not only sets his crosshairs on Bruce Wayne, but that he's fully aware of the billionaire's penchant for donning cape and cowl while stalking the streets as the Dark Knight. And that is pretty patently obvious that he is aware that Bruce Wayne is the Batman. There's a wall, there's an image where literally everyone is standing there having a look at a wall, Riddler's wall, everything that is there, and you can see pretty heavy details of the Batman. There's Bruce Wayne's family, Thomas Wayne, orphanage. If only I knew then what I know now. You can see little, crosshair question marks on presumably young Edward Nashton, Wayne spotted, Batman, justice, and then obviously, it sort of develops into him essentially knowing who the Batman is, not just from here. And the point is, obviously, he said it in dialogue. He said, he says, I know the real you. So pretty much, I know who the Batman is. He did say it in dialogue, but the thing about dialogue is that they could chop it together. This is pretty obviously, the Riddler knows who Bruce Wayne is, right? Who is the Batman? I know the real you. It's pretty obvious, right? I would say that's pretty obvious stuff, which I think is cool. I think that's super cool. So anyway, during an interview with Total Film, Reeves shed a little bit more light on his latest take on the classic Batman villain, making it clear that he does have a larger agenda. Good. So let's see what this is. See if we like it. He's not just a serial killer. He definitely has a political agenda. Now, wait. A lot of people hate politics. But this works. Villains, political agenda. It works. It does actually work. And also, if he's targeting Gotham's elite, what do you think it is? Of course it's going to be political. It's about corruption. Anyway, there's a terrorist aspect to him. Yeah, terrorists are political. Terrorists try to enforce political change via force. He's indicting the city for what it is. And one of the things he's doing with each of these crimes is he's attacking the so-called legitimate pillars of the city. The whole point of it was to put Batman on the path of trying to solve a mystery that was not only going to reveal the history of the city and why it's so corrupt, but that also is going to turn at a point and become actually quite personal. Now, there's been lots of rumours that this is going to be Court of Owls, right? And let's take a look at that. These so-called legitimate pillars of the city. Thomas Wayne is supposedly, in general Batman canon, Thomas Wayne and the Waynes, the Wayne Foundations, the billionaire Wayne, is generally speaking one of the pillars of Gotham City. He has a lot of power, he has a lot of money, he has a lot of influence, and generally speaking, he does it for good. Now, we don't know whether they're going to change that in this iteration, but I would hazard a guess, again, pretty much based on, the images here, Thomas Wayne for mayor, murderer, things like this, that obviously Thomas Wayne is one of the legitimate pillars of the so-called legitimate pillars of the city, which comes under attack. And maybe because it can't be, Thomas Wayne's dead, therefore the Riddler, Edward Nashton, can't attack Thomas Wayne directly, he goes for his son instead, to reveal who his father is. The individual that died, which put Bruce Wayne on the path to becoming a vigilante. And can you imagine how mind-shattering that would be for the Batman? And this is why I think this is really, really quite smart. You have a character that mourns the loss of his family, they're murdered in front of his eyes, they're shot down in cold blood, and that causes him to go on a path to become a vigilante, to solve the city's crimes, to then learn that that individual that has been the inspiration behind all of this wasn't what you thought. I think that's really smart. And I think also that's that personal angle. I think that's great. So we have the rest of the article here. It says, what this mystery is at the heart of the corruption of Gotham City will turn out to be remains to be seen. But there are rumours that the Court of Owls might be revealed. I think that'll be the case. Shadowy organisation, pulling strings. Reeves went on to explain where the idea for the Riddler's distinctive costume originated from. I read Mindhunter. It made me think of the Zodiac Killer and how he actually wore this primitive costume that really is a primitive superhero costume, a rogues gallery costume. And I was like, oh, that's really scary. The idea of people really wearing masks and withholding their identities and terrorising people and how scary that is. And so I started thinking, well, it could be an origin tale for the Riddler, and it could be an origin tale for some of these other characters. I think that's good. Honestly, I think this sounds really decent. Him being a terrorist makes perfect sense. It'll be interesting to see where the personal aspect is for the Riddler in this, because he's telegraphed it. There is a personal element here. And if only I knew then what I know now, you can literally see Edward Nashton here. You can see boy Bruce Wayne, and you can see Thomas Wayne. There's an orphanage here. So, Thomas Wayne opens Gotham Orphanage. So it'll be interesting to see the connection, how they're connected, the personal element there, and how this leads to Batman. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Are you hyped for this film? I am. So stay here for a little bit of that hype train. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Take care.